name is Martha Bosworth, and I am currently a site assessment manager in Region 1. I have worked in the Superfund program for 18 years in several roles, including PRP search and cost recovery. In this session, we are going to discuss records. A key component of any PRP search is documenting the liability of a party by compiling evidence that connects a party to the hazardous substances at a site. We will focus on some of the types of documents that will be useful to your search, compiling data from documents and organizing records. There will be a number of different types of records that may be useful in your PRP search. One of the most useful documents is the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest. This document is designed to record the transportation of all hazardous materials. As the name implies, this is a form that is used by all waste haulers to document the transportation of hazardous waste. Each state may have its own version of the form, but the format and information included is generally the same for all states. The document specifically IDs the generator of the waste. Section 1 contains the PRP-specific ID number of the generator, and Section 5 lists the name and address of the specific generator. It tracks any transfer of the waste from one hauler to another. Sections 6 and 7 indicate the initial waste hauler and any transfer that may occur. It indicates the receiving facility. Section 8 names the facility that receives the waste. It indicates the type of waste. Section 9b indicates the type of waste that is being transported. There may be several different types of waste on a single manifest. The manifest documents the quantity. Section 10 indicates the number and type of containers picked up from the generator. Section 11 documents the total quantity of each type of waste, and Section 12 documents the units used to measure the waste, such as volume or weight. The Hazardous Waste Manifest provides essentially all the information needed to tie a party and its waste to your site. Prior to 1986, the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest form was used. However, the individual pickup locations may not have been listed. The manifest would document the entire load on the truck, though there may have been waste taken from a number of sources. In some cases, a backup sheet may be included that lists the individual pickups and who they were from. Records that indicate scheduled pickups are sometimes kept and can be helpful to strengthen a transaction record by matching it with a manifest. Invoices are also very good records, as they indicate that a transaction took place and the generator was billed for it. If they are available, it is a good idea to check any business records that you come across. These may explain standard operating procedures that may help you understand how the waste was normally handled and how the billing process works. Bank statements are also useful. This information can indicate who has paid for their services and can strengthen the transaction record further. Customer lists can be very useful. This is a 104E list ready for you without much effort. The indication that an entity did business with or at your site is a good indication that they may have information that is useful. As documents are gathered, they will need to be compiled and organized to be useful to your investigation. Development of a system to help compile, track, and manipulate the information gathered will be very helpful. Depending on the complexity of the case, this could be a simple spreadsheet to a complex database. There are a number of things that should be considered in determining what type of system is needed. These are: what type of information are you tracking? How much information do you have to deal with? What are the types of summaries and reports that will be helpful for your search? What type of waste is being tracked, and how many different types of waste are there? Who will be the users? How much effort and money will it require to develop and maintain a system? What level of contract support is needed, and is that level of support available? How long will you need to maintain the system once it is developed? Will the system you develop or use be compatible with your current hardware and software? How easily can someone else become familiar with the procedures you've developed? If you are going to need to develop or implement any type of data system, it is crucial to ask yourself these questions up front. A full evaluation of your data needs will help you select the appropriate tool to help you keep track of your PRP data. One of the tools often used to assist in the PRP search is a volumetric ranking. This tool helps to organize PRPs based on their relative contribution of hazardous materials to the site. Volumetric ranking also allows parties to organize themselves with other parties with similar contribution levels to assist with settlements. Some of the information that should be compiled to create the volumetric ranking list or waste in list include names and addresses of parties, the types and amounts of waste contributed by each party, dates and other details of shipments, names of the waste haulers used to transport the waste, and the type of evidence available. Also, any other information that may be available to support any assumptions that you have made. This waste in or volumetric ranking list provides a summary of each party's contribution to the site and ranks them in order of the level of waste volume. The list expresses each party's contribution as a percentage of the total volume of hazardous material documented to be at the site. As I stated before, this helps to group parties with other parties who have similar volumes to facilitate settlements. Another important aspect of the PRP search is collecting and compiling financial data, such as names and addresses of companies, business and corporate name changes, mergers and acquisitions, dates and other details of important financial transactions such as UCC filings, initial public offerings, stock splits, and ability to pay analysis. With all this information about gathering, organizing, and compiling data, let's not overlook an important aspect in terms of the EPA. What is a record? The short answer is recorded information in any format that is created in the course of business, received for action, or needed to document EPA activities. By visiting epa.gov/records/whatis, you can learn more about what is considered a record and how each type of record should be handled. In addition to this site, it is important to get to know your regional or agency records requirements. Also, get to know the specific requirements for Superfund records management. Here are a few things to keep in mind when managing your records. Whenever possible, request documents in electronic format. Hard copies take up a lot of space. Always ensure that confidential business information, CBI, and personal identification information, PII, are protected. Consider a database or some other tool to help you track and manage records. In order to maintain document control, it is important to get documents to the Records Center as soon as possible. And working copies of files can be managed and organized to fit your own purposes or preferences. So, when choosing the best way to deal with PRP search records, consider the following factors. Types of information needed from the documents, volume of documents, regional file structure, capabilities of the organizer, ease of document retrieval, long-term tracking needs and capabilities, potential document security issues, unique site-specific needs, nature and number of potential users, and time required to organize documents. So remember, conduct a thorough search for records and get help. That wraps up Session 7 of the Basic PRP Search Training, Compiling Data and Organizing Records. Please take a moment to fill out an evaluation form on our website and provide us some feedback on your training experience. On our site, you'll also find resources, documents, and contact information for this session. Thanks so much for joining me.